Lots going on today, trying to get to it and cover it all for you here on the program. 314-969-9797. You know, it did my heart good to hear a congressman sitting here telling me that when I asked him if going to Washington was like being in the Twilight Zone, he's like, you know what, I've been there so long. He said, I've been up there when I go there, so I'm so used to it, I don't even think about it anymore. He said, but I guess sitting back here looks kind of odd sometimes. I mean, it does. We can't wrap our brains around some of the stories that people can look into a camera up there in D.C. and claim. But we have our own group of those problems here at home. Lambert Airport is one of them. They're under negotiation right now with Uber and Lyft. Now, I thought this had all been straightened up with the governor's pen a while back when he approved Uber and Lyft to operate in the state, but apparently there was a carve-out for Lambert Airport. Graham Renz joining us right now from the Show Me Institute. That's one of a couple of issues we're going to talk about today. Graham, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mark, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. So I spoke to somebody from Uber yesterday. I was trying to get a representative on the show. I get the impression that because Uber is still in negotiations over this whole thing, they're not real anxious to talk publicly about it. But they did admit to me that they are forced to pay for drop-offs and pickups in some other airports around the country, but nothing to the extent of I'll call it the extortion, for lack of anything else, the kind of cash that they're being asked for at Lambert International.
Yeah, I was going to say this seems like more of a blatant money grab than anything. So just for folks who aren't aware, it looks like the Airport Commission is looking to charge companies like Uber and Lyft, ride-sharing firms, $3 to pick up and drop off at the airport. Most other airports, if they have these sorts of fees, they're just for picking up. But at Lambert, if you get dropped off by Uber or Lyft or one of these other firms, it looks like you're going to have to pay an extra fee too.
Plus, every 2 years, they have to pay $15,000 to be in the good graces of the city of St. Louis, it sounds like?
More or less, yeah. Yeah, so you put it well. This is for reference, the state law that got signed into law this past session that more or less streamlined these transportation network company regulations. There's a relatively nominal fee that these firms pay to operate to the state, and Lambert's looking. You said $15,000 every 2 years, on top of the $6 or potentially $6 that travelers are going to have to pay themselves and not the firm. So this is. This is a blatant money grab. In Atlanta and Miami, they've implemented these fees too. And when reporters ask, well, why are you doing this? What's this going for? They're charging them because they can, and it's going to go towards the operation of the airport. Lambert has hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of debt for this roadway or for the runway that they built. They've got bills. They're trying to, figure things out. So, hey, Uber and Lyft, you want to offer convenient, affordable services to our customers? Sure, we're just going to charge you for it. So this is no good. The only people it benefits is the airport, and it hurts these companies and it hurts the traveling public.
It's a business. I understand that, but it's a monopoly in this particular case. They fought and scratched and to keep Mid-America from ever being built because they didn't want any competition, and it's still not really any competition for them. But once we were no longer a hub, they saw their revenues fall fairly significantly, I'm guessing. So now they have to sort of penny ante stuff everywhere to make an extra dime, raising parking fees, and now this thing. I guess I know it's all politics. The Taxi Cab Commission should have pushed back on this a long time ago. I'm all for having common sense regulations to make sure that the companies are bonded, they have the proper insurance, you're going to be safe if you get in a cab and drive somewhere. I understand all that. But the thought that you can extract money from somebody who wants to come and drop off a customer at your front door still amazes. When I look at it, it's almost like it's an antiquated system.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I was talking about this earlier in the office. I said it's like a scene from 1984. The Airport Commission said because Uber and Lyft is so convenient, we're going to have this convenience fee of $3 for pickup and drop off. Really, because it's convenient, you're going to make people pay more? It's crazy. If we want to talk about leveling the playing field with taxis and these transportation network companies, that's great. That's fine. Why does anybody have to pay a fee? Consumers pay an extra $4 fee when they get in a taxi at the airport. You don't help consumers. You don't help businesses by making them pay more. Just get rid of the fees for everyone and make going to the airport and coming from the airport more convenient and more affordable.
So yesterday I asked for a statement from the airport, and they directed me to the mayor's office of communication. I didn't hear back from him yesterday. I heard back from him today. Coran Otto sent this to me, who used to be a reporter. So the statement I got is this. It's a quote from Mayor Lyda Crewson that said, "People wanted this as a transportation option." I'm assuming referring to Uber and Lyft. "I'd like to thank the Airport Commission for getting this done." Well, it's not done. If they'd had their way, it probably wouldn't be an option at all. And this was, not much of a statement and not really what I was looking for at all. It doesn't explain why we think we have the right to charge these companies $3 to drop off and pick somebody up. And there was a quote in the paper yesterday where the airport director said, if they don't reach an agreement with us, we'll be out there looking for them and we'll ticket them for dropping people off. And, I told Liz here, who's driven for Uber in the past, if I was an Uber driver and you wanted to go to the airport or have me pick you up, we'd have this agreement. When you see me, hug me, sit in the front seat, and how the hell would they ever know if I'm driving for Uber or not?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. According to their logic, right? It's more convenient to have your own family and friends drop you off. So should we charge you, an extra $5 because it's more convenient?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you say, we're going to charge businesses this extra money. Businesses aren't paying this. Uber and Lyft aren't paying this.
They're going to pass it on to the consumer.
You are paying this extra bit. Okay, the only people this helps is the airport and the taxis who get, a little bit of clawback because, we can push some fees and regulations onto our competitors. And if they had their way, these companies would still be illegal.
I'm very glad you pointed that out, Graham, because when I talked to Uber yesterday, the one thing the lady admitted was that in the cities where they have to pay these fees, there's just that fee is attached to whatever the cost is to go to the airport. So if it was $12 before, it's $15 now because of the $3 drop-off fee that they then have to reimburse to these airports. What a shame. All right. So enough of that. Now you understand what the situation is. Uber still hasn't agreed to this. Lyft apparently has. They're still negotiating the deal with Uber. Graham, the other story I caught my attention was this trolley situation in the Central West End. We've been talking about this thing for years and how while it's going to look pretty once it's built, it's a whole lot of money for a trolley that basically goes nowhere, right? Or not very far anyway.
Not very far, no. It's just over 2 miles. Yeah, there's a recent story. It looks like the Loop Trolley has run out of money again and is delayed again. It's been delayed 4 times just this year alone. The Loop Trolley, the head of the Loop Trolley TDD, or Transportation Development District, Joe Edwards, is going to ask the county for an extra $500,000 to cover regular costs of this thing, to make sure there's signs on the stops, etc. Not because there were some, unexpected costs that came up.
Okay.
So there have been 4 delays of this thing this year alone. The FTA, the feds have threatened to, withdraw funding for the project several times. They've said if you don't get this thing up and running now, in the immediate future, St. Louis is probably not going to get federal money for other infrastructure projects. So this thing has been run, managed, administered so poorly that the feds, who decided to give this project, whatever its merits, $34 million, they're face-palming and they're saying, oh, man, you guys better do it better or you're not getting any more money.
Remind me again how much it cost to put this trolley in?
It was originally estimated at $43 million, okay? And again, 2.2 miles. So that's over $20 million a mile. They threw out the bid, they got bids back from construction companies, came in $11 million over that. and the supposed price tag now is $51 million. So it's almost 20% over budget. It had to get bailed out previously because of that. The bids coming in higher by county taxpayers bailed them out, and now they're coming back again to county taxpayers for another $500,000. And all this while originally back in 2012, University City Council or administrators said, any cost overruns will be covered by the special district.
Taxing district, right.
The TDD and the Loop. No. Oh, no. Going back to county taxpayers for a second time for millions more.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just bearing that in mind, there are people out there who think we could merge St. Louis City and county and end up with better government. You've got to be kidding me. This is a disaster in motion. Graham Renz, thank you so much.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me on.
Go to the website, showmeinstitute.org, to read more on their studies over there. When we come back, we're going to talk to